Hi, hello, welcome to another video. So my name is Carrot, which is totally not a fake name. And today we're going to do something a little special from other videos. And from this video angle, if you managed to guess tarot card reading, you are correct. It's very simple, very straightforward. There are 4 cards here. And all you need to do is basically just pick the card that stands out for you the most. So the reading we'll be doing today will be basically about where you are and right now, your current situation, maybe something that has marked you like recently, and maybe a little bit of advice for you or your current situation and like how you can go about that. Basically, what will come out will be the thing that bothers you the most at this time. As a disclaimer, I need to remind you that tarot card reading is for entertainment purposes only. Please take it with a grain of salt. If you already picked a card, that's great. You can just like basically go to your reading. But if you are still not sure which card you want to take, so I would imagine 4 pathways in front of me and take a few deep breaths. And on the last one, I will hold it for a little bit longer and let the breathe. And then once I let out that breath, I will focus on which path I will be drawn to the most. So like if this side feels a little bit heavier, then I would go for this one. If this side feels a little bit heavier, then I would go with this one. And that's basically how you pick a card. And yeah, that's it. So I will see you in your readings. To those who basically chose this picture, you are a peacock. So the peacock is a symbol of inner beauty, compassion, and a simulator of things. I do feel like there's a little bit of ego in the peacock. They can be very, very beautiful and very confident when they're in balance, when everything's going right. But when things go wrong, it can definitely make you react a little bit more harshly than you should have. Yeah, appearances and saving face can be quite important to you. If you want to like rebalance your energy and make sure that like you have everything in control, the cards do say to do meditation on your navel. So basically like the center of your body. Anyway, so now we are up here. Like so the Two of Cups. The Two of Cups kind of like is all about like celebration, and it can also be like new beginnings, especially when it comes to like love and stuff. But the thing that I think you should note about this card is the lion and how it kind of like stood out for me in this reading. And the lion head, it has kind of like a protective stance. So I would take this as a little warning or sign. While you could be rejoicing and celebrating within like friends and family and maybe lovers, I think it could be good to maybe revisit whatever flags you had about them. So like if anyone has ever did or make you feel like something a little bit unsure, I think maybe take a look at things. So the second one, Two of Swords. So the Two of Swords is kind of like about denials and like not really being able to accept what is in front of your eyes. There is a relationship. I don't believe it is the same one as here. I think this is about like your relationship overall with people. But this is like, the second one is a little bit more targeted at like one specific relationship. It can be with anyone actually. But it can even be about you and your relationship with yourself. But one of the relationships you currently have, you are in denial about like something about it, and I think that's kind of like stopping you. So the third card is actually the Eight of Wands in reverse, which signifies slow travels and things slowing down for a while. So I think it kind of relates to your mind state, which is like kind of here when I was kind of reading your energy at the peacock here. Yeah, things are a little bit stagnant and you don't really know how to feel about it, but you also kind of like understand why it can be stagnant. I think COVID is definitely something that could possibly affect your plans, and so yeah, so that's where you are at. But over here we have a fiery climax approaching, a full moon in Aries. Don't get me wrong, I love Aries, but they can be a little too much sometimes. There's a fire in them and it's kind of like contagious, which is a good and bad thing depending on situations. But I would say expect something or someone to kind of like light a fire within you, which can be good because like if you are feeling stagnant and you have been feeling frustrated about it, this can maybe like give you the kick that you need in order to like push forward. The next one is Lemuria, the card from like Work Your Light Magic. I think this card is like telling you to create, give life to something, whether it is a project or art. If you're more of like a business or numbers people, like you might think that this kind of like doesn't really relate to me or apply to me, but the thing is, there's creativity in everywhere. Even if your life has always been about numbers and whatnot, you can also have hobbies. Yeah, you can like kind of like live your life out of what you've always kind of usually known. If you've been feeling lost, or if you've been thinking about something, trying something new, I think now could be a good time to like try. Like, at least start somewhere, you know? So the last card, which is the Botanical Inspirations. It's the false indigo, which signifies immersion and intuition. The quote is from Kahil Gibran. It says, "When you reach the end of what you should know, you will be at the beginning of what you should sense." So I think it's pretty straightforward. Follow your gut feelings. I think it kind of relates to this card. Make sure to listen to your gut feeling, and yes, you might feel doubtful about it, but go back to your first intuition and like think about it, sit upon it, and like just ponder over it. And yeah, that's all for this one. If you chose this card, let's first see what kind of person you are. So I think there's a bit more masculine energy in this person, despite it being like a very fairy tale. Like, if you're a girl, you just have more masculine traits, and that's not a bad thing. Okay, let's see. So you're a hyena with like peacock aspects. So just to like summarize, the peacock aspects is basically like inner beauty and whatnot. But the hyena is actually all about like humor, wit, and sarcasm. Someone who's kind of a jokester or a crowd pleaser. The guidebook actually says, below the surface, there are unfulfilled dreams to be realized. A guidebook also asks if you are using jokes and humor in order to hide things that you want to tell. So it's kind of funny that like the peacock card actually came out, and I actually put it underneath. And I think there are two sides of you, and it's very apparent with like, you know, this moon basically. You're kind of like a two-faceted person. Like, some might call you two-faced and some might think that you're fake, but I think it's because you feel like you want to protect yourself. You have things that you don't really want to show people because you're not really ready to show people yet. I think it's quite possible that you feel people might not like you or take you seriously, but I do think that people do. Maybe maybe lately you've been feeling a little bit more bitter than usual, but you are a beautiful peacock underneath, so I think it could be time to like come out of your shell. And yeah, I think that's the kind of person you are. I would say overall, you are either currently under a quite troubled time, or you are recovering from the certain troubled time / incident. So the Six of Swords here is actually reversed. Basically, you are still moving through, but there are like a lot of things happening. It will slow down your journey, but you're still pushing through nonetheless. That kind of relates to the Ten of Swords. Ten of Swords is about betrayal and also like people bad-mouthing you and stabbing you in the back, as you can see. I'm getting the feeling that it's a little bit more related to like your skill set, either career or the things that you do for a living. If it hasn't happened, maybe keep an eye on those and see where someone could be backing you into a corner or like stabbing you in the back. But the good news is, with this major star, things are looking up. You don't have to worry so much. I think justice gets served. Maybe because of revenge, but it's just a tool, I would say, and can be used for good and bad. The card is actually a little bit more about like inspiration. So you will definitely get inspired, whether it's kind of like for good or for bad. But it's usually like a positive omen. It's basically telling you that you have found yourself in a way. You have learned, or you will learn a lot from what you have gone through, and you will be able to use those lessons and apply them in the future. If you are still in the middle of that situation, this is the card that kind of like says that you can still turn around the situation. And that also kind of applies to after the situation as well. Like, nothing is yet set in stone. So if something went badly and you have to kind of make amends, you can still fix it. Which kind of relates to the next card, which says your guidance is divinely guided. When it comes to these kind of cards, they kind of like tell you that you're on the right path and everything, and you're not reluctant to change. You're quite immutable. Maybe like this person might take a while to like open up, but once she decides to tell you things, they'll tell you. There might be like some stubbornness in it. It is a good thing for you to be able to like talk about things. I do think maybe you should let your peacock like come out a little bit more sometimes. I'm getting quite a lot of like suspicious and quite guarded like energy from this card right now. So I think it's possible that you are on guard, maybe because of the situation that is happening over here. But it is okay. I think you can definitely get out of the slump. You seem quite balanced, which kind of relates to the flower advice. So you got the crocus, which is about cheerfulness. The quote is, "It is spring again. The earth is like a child that knows poems by heart." So yeah, that's all for number 2. So, if you chose this one, this reading is for you. Now, I'm just gonna like start turning this from here, so just so that I can have like good idea. Let's see what kind of person you are. jumpy. Cheetah. A lot of like fire energy. I won't lie, I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed by this person. I think they're like just a very like radiant and shaky person in general. Like there's just so much happening and they're kind of like a little bit everywhere as well. Cheetah is solar force, action, achievement, and masculine energy. Solar force, which is interesting because Leo. I feel like currently this person is a little bit out of balance. Maybe it's related to this. As you can see, it's actually like unhappiness, heartache, sorrow, and sadness. It is about like grief, loss, or depression. I think it is related to love. Whatever form of love that there is, I think there could be like a recent loss, but not as in like death or anything, but it could be, but I hope not. In general, maybe something might not have gone your way when it comes to relationships and love. People might think that you're not really affected by it, but I do think you are, but you're not letting it stop you or like get in the way of your dreams or like your goals. I can't say if you are handling it well. It is possible that you could be neglecting your feelings, but the Ace of Cups is new beginnings, so new relationships, usually love, compassion, and whatnot. So in this reading, I feel like the card here is saying that someone is offering you something. They will be helping you recover or giving you what you would need, basically. So yeah, look for friends or like depend on them if you need to. You might feel like you don't really want to. It could be a pride thing as well, but I think it's best if you take the offer and kind of like let yourself be pampered and be a baby for a while. It's a good thing. And if you don't want to be babied at all, then I think you have issues there. You're lying to yourself. So the first one, let's go to like this one, which is the Page of Pentacles in reverse. It's the card in reverse is actually about bad news in terms of earthly matters, but it's actually a consequence of your actions. I mean, it is Page of Pentacles, so technically it is related to material, which means like physical things, but I do believe it also relates to you emotionally as well. But I would be careful of finances. Be a little bit more thoughtful about what you want to do, because you're trying to like say yes to everyone, trying to prove that you can do this. Because I think you're a smart person, Cheetah. Maybe you've always been like faster than your peers. That, you know, that can fuel pride, and like that pride might get in the way of your own doing. But you will tire yourself out really easily. And you will end up like just not be happy, not be where you are in that sense. And this card, which is about your inner temple, it's telling you to go for what you want to. It relates to this one. Actually focus on the things that you want to do, that what makes you happy, instead of doing things that you think of as like backup. So take this advice and don't let pride get in your way. Take a break if you need to. Take the help that is offered. So the last card is the Lily, which is majesty and virtue. The lily is the emblem rare of many virtue, goods, and rare. So I think this is kind of like a reminder of like what you are and what you can do. You are a rare being. You are like one of a kind. But you have to remember, you're like not the only one special, but you are special. So you cannot be too prideful about it. But you also have to remind yourself that there is a reason why you are special. Everyone is special in their own way, but there are definitely more special people. Like you can't compare Beyonce to like an average person, you know. But yeah, that's all for you, Cheetah, or number 3. Yay. So if you pick this one, you are number 4. So let's see what kind of animal spirit you have. Oh, okay. Okay, buddy, you have a lot of things to say. Let's slow down. Take this with a grain of salt. Maybe this person is like them wanting to say a lot of things, but maybe might not really be able to say a lot of things. Exhausted by like the city life and whatnot. Kind of getting those vibes. Alright, so let's first start with like the Phoenix. So the Phoenix, you are under the round thing here is actually under spirit, at least in this tarot card deck. The Phoenix represents transformation of our past, but it doesn't mean running away from it. It's freedom from suffering and past karmas, and also reincarnation. I think in this situation, you, basically, Phoenix, are a person that keeps reinventing themselves a little bit. Someone who are not really sure of who they want to be, so they're trying a little bit of everything. Like a phoenix is supposed to be like majestic and someone who a symbol of purity and pureness, but I think in this situation you feel a little bit more like ashamed of always like retrying new things. So the Ace of Wands is about like good news and new beginnings, basically new initiatives and new passions and enthusiasm. This card actually like signifies like birth. So if you're not planning to have kids, be careful. Let's see the rest of the cards first before I say something else. The Eight of Cups reversed, stagnation. It can also represent returning home after a long period of traveling or living abroad. So any of you guys who have been living abroad and whatnot, this could be like related to you. The period of stagnation kind of relates to like who you are right now as a phoenix. The thing is, right, it is totally fine to like reinvent yourself as many times as you want to, because that can also just be you. You could just be like 1,000 different people in just one body. But I think the issue with you right now is that you can't figure out who you are or like what the core of you is. And that's why you feel like you've been stagnating and you feel like you're going nowhere despite always renewing yourself. And it kind of like follows this, the Two of Pentacles, which is about juggling. You're juggling like a few different aspects of your life and you're kind of like having trouble like balancing it, I think. For this reading, Two of Pentacles guy doesn't look like he's having a lot of fun. He's doing a little bit too much and he doesn't think that he can actually handle it. But it is a good thing that the Ace of Wands here is here to reassure you that everything will be fine. And I think something might spark more passion within you and that can like help figure out who you are. But I do believe if you want to figure out who you are, you need to take a step back. And it relates to this, which is like taking the time to breathe out. You need to like just slow down and figure out who you really are, or what is the thing that always keeps coming back whenever you are like reinventing yourself. And that will be basically like the core of who you are. So let's go to the flower oracles. So you got Nasturtium, which signifies victory and conquest. A quote from Lao Tzu: "He who controls others may feel powerful, but he who has mastered himself is mightier still." Yeah, so it actually like really relates to your situation here. Like in a way you are like not in control of yourself. And once you are, you will get to be what people quote unquote expect you to be. I feel like there's that aspect in your life as well. While you are a phoenix and you keep reinventing yourself, people or you yourself don't consider yourself as legit or like as majestic as like the quote unquote phoenix. There's like a bit of imposter syndrome there. And once you find out who you are, you will be able to master yourself. That's when you will actually be a lot more powerful and you will be the quote unquote phoenix that you want to be. And yeah, that's all. Alright, now we're at the end of our reading. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know which one you picked and if it's accurate for you. If it's not, I'm sorry. I didn't catch your energy and I want to emphasize that this is like for entertainment purposes. And so like take it with a grain of salt. You can share it with your friends and see if their readings are accurate. Alright, thank you so much for your time and Carrot is out.